Have you ever stopped to think about the kind of life you're building? Every action, decision, and effort we make is like a brick in the foundation of our future. Yet, so often, we find ourselves rushing through life, cutting corners, and leaving our dreams to chance. But what if I told you there's a way to transform your everyday actions into the framework of an extraordinary life? In today's video, we'll explore timeless Stoic lessons that teach us how to live with purpose, strength, and clarity. We'll start with the story of a carpenter who discovered too late the importance of intentional effort. Then, we'll dive into how you can decide to be invincible, let go of the past, and embrace the discomfort that shapes true courage. Through these powerful practices, you'll learn to focus on what you can control, redefine success, and take ownership of your destiny. This isn't just philosophy, it's a blueprint for building a life you'll be proud to live. So, join me on this journey to unlock the extraordinary potential within you and start living with intention today. 1. The lesson of the carpenter. Building a life of purpose. There once was a skilled carpenter named John, known far and wide for his craftsmanship. For decades, he poured his heart and soul into his work, creating homes that stood as symbols of his dedication and artistry. But as the years went on, John began to grow weary. The physical demands of his craft and the routine of daily labor left him longing for retirement. One day, John's employer approached him with a final request: build just one more house. Reluctantly, John agreed, but his heart wasn't in it. Unlike the homes he had crafted with care in the past, this one was hastily assembled. He cut corners, used subpar materials, and paid little attention to detail. To John, it was just a task to be completed before he could finally rest. When the house was finished, his employer handed him the keys. "This house," the man said, "is my gift to you. Thank you for all your years of service." He looked at the house's own future home with regret. If he had known it was meant for him, he would have built it with the same care and precision as the others. This story carries a profound lesson. Every day of our lives is like a plank of wood in the house we are building. The choices we make, the effort we invest, and the care we show become the foundation of our future. Just like the carpenter, we often underestimate the impact of our daily actions, thinking they are insignificant or that they won't matter in the long run. But over time, these small actions accumulate, shaping the quality of the life we live. Imagine waking up each morning and treating the day as if you were crafting your dream home. Would you rush through it, cutting corners and settling for mediocrity? Or would you approach each task with intention and pride, knowing that what you build today becomes the reality you live in tomorrow? John's story reminds us to approach life with intentionality, even in moments of fatigue or routine. The truth is, we never know when we're working on the foundation of something that will profoundly impact us. Whether it's in relationships, career, health, or personal growth, the care we give today will determine the strength and beauty of our future. So, as you go about your day, ask yourself, am I building something I'll be proud to live in? Take time to reflect on your choices. Embrace each moment as an opportunity to rebuild wisely, and treat your life as the masterpiece it has the potential to be, because in the end, you are the carpenter of your own destiny. 2. Decide to be invincible. The power of inner strength. Imagine a young woman named Sophia. Every morning, she would wake up feeling overwhelmed by the uncertainties of her day. A critical meeting at work, an unresolved argument with a friend, or simply the endless stream of responsibilities, each felt like an insurmountable mountain. One day, during a late-night scroll through her favorite books, she came across the teachings of Marcus Aurelius. His words struck her like lightning. "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Sophia decided that the next morning would be different. Inspired by the Stoic emperor, she sat at the edge of her bed and made a choice. To be invincible, no, in the sense of avoiding challenges, but by building the inner strength to face them with courage and clarity. She began her day with a moment of reflection, asking herself, what challenges might I encounter today? How can I approach them as opportunities to? This small practice became Sophia's daily ritual. Before stepping into her day, she visualized the obstacles she might face. A demanding boss, unexpected delays, or even her own self. But instead of dreading them, she imagined herself handling each one with calm and composure. She pictured herself listening with patience during tense conversations, taking deep breaths when overwhelmed, and focusing only on what she could control. Over time, Sophia noticed a change. Situations that once rattled her became manageable. When someone cut her off in traffic, she smiled instead of. When a coworker was critical of her work, she saw it as an opportunity to improve rather than a personal attack. This mindset didn't make her days easier, but it gave her a sense of calm amidst the chaos her own mental. The decision to be invincible isn't about denying the reality of life's difficulties. It's about accepting that challenges are inevitable and choosing how to respond to them. Marcus Aurelius himself, as the ruler of a vast empire, faced betrayal, wars, and personal loss. Yet, he maintained his composure by focusing on what was within his control, his thoughts, his actions, and his. Cultivating this inner strength starts with small, intentional steps. Each morning, take a few moments to visualize your day, identify potential hurdles, and decide how you will handle them with grace. This practice, known as premeditatio malorum, premeditation of evils, prepares your mind for the unexpected and strengthens your resolve to remain. So, as you wake up tomorrow, make a choice. Decide to be invincible. Decide to see challenges as opportunities for growth and to build the mental armor that allows you to thrive, no matter what life throws your way. Like Sophia and like Marcus Aurelius, you'll discover that true strength comes not from controlling the outside world, but from mastering your inner. Decide to be invincible. The power of inner strength. Imagine a young woman named Sophia. Every morning she would wake up feeling overwhelmed by the uncertainties of her day. A critical meeting at work, an unresolved argument with a friend, or simply the endless stream of responsibilities, she felt like an insurmountable mountain. One day, during a late-night scroll through her favorite books, she came across the teachings of Marcus Aurelius. His words struck her like lightning. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find. Sophia decided that the next morning would be different. Inspired by the Stoic emperor, she sat at the edge of her bed and made a choice. To be invincible, no, in the sense of avoiding challenges, but by building the inner strength to face them with courage and clarity. She began her day with a moment of reflection, asking herself, what challenges might I encounter today? How can I approach them as opportunities to? This small practice became Sophia's daily ritual. Before stepping into her day, she visualized the obstacles she might face, a demanding boss, unexpected delays, or even her own self. But instead of dreading them, she imagined herself handling each one with calm and composure. She pictured herself listening with patience during tense conversations, taking deep breaths when overwhelmed, and focusing only on what she could control. Over time, Sophia noticed a change. Situations that once rattled her became manageable. When someone cut her off in traffic, she smiled instead of. When a coworker was critical of her work, she saw it as an opportunity to improve rather than a personal attack. This mindset didn't make her days easier, but it gave her a sense of calm amidst the chaos her own mental. The decision to be invincible isn't about denying the reality of life's difficulties. It's about accepting that challenges are inevitable and choosing how to respond. Marcus Aurelius himself, as the ruler of a vast empire, faced betrayal, wars, and personal loss. Yet, he maintained his composure by focusing on what was within his control, his thoughts, his actions, and his perspective. Cultivating this inner strength starts with small, intentional steps. Each morning, take a few moments to visualize your day, identify potential hurdles, and decide how you will handle them with grace. This practice, known as premeditatio malorum, premeditation of evils, prepares your mind for the unexpected and strengthens your resolve to remain. So, as you wake up tomorrow, make a choice. Decide to be invincible. Decide to see challenges as opportunities for growth and to build the mental armor that allows you to thrive, no matter what life throws you. Like Sophia and like Marcus Aurelius, you'll discover that true strength comes not from controlling the outside world, but from mastering your inner. 3. Let go of the past. Turning lessons into. Imagine Sarah, a woman who carried the weight of her past like a heavy backpack. Every regret, mistake, and missed opportunity felt like a stone she couldn't put. She replayed old conversations in her mind, wishing she had said something different. She clung to moments of failure, convincing herself that they defined who she was. This constant focus on the past made her hesitant to embrace the present, leaving her stuck in a cycle of self-doubt and fear. One day, while reading a book on personal growth, Sarah came across a phrase that changed everything. The past is a teacher, not a prison. The idea struck her deeply. What if, instead of being shackled to her mistakes, she could see them as stepping stones to a better version of herself? She decided it was time to let go, not by forgetting the past, but by reframing her relationship with it. Sarah began by reflecting on her experiences with a new perspective. She asked herself, what lessons can I take from this? For instance, a failed job interview taught her the importance of preparation. A broken friendship revealed the value of communication and boundaries. These reflections transformed her mistakes from sources of shame into valuable life lessons. The next step was forgiveness. Sarah realized that holding on to resentment, whether toward herself or others, was like drinking poison and expecting someone else to suffer. Forgiving didn't mean excusing hurtful actions, it meant releasing their hold on her. She wrote letters to those who had hurt her, not to send, but to express her emotions and finally let them go. She also forgave herself, recognizing that mistakes are part of being human. Letting go of the past doesn't happen overnight. For Sarah, it was a process of choosing, moment by moment, to focus on the present. She started a daily mindfulness practice, sitting quietly each morning to breathe deeply and remind herself, today is a new beginning. This simple act helped her anchor herself in the present, embracing its possibilities rather than being dragged down by old regret. Over time, Sarah noticed a profound shift. She no longer avoided opportunities out of fear of repeating past mistakes. Instead, she faced challenges with a sense of curiosity and courage, knowing that even failure held valuable lessons. Her relationships improved as she stopped projecting old hurts onto new connections. Most importantly, she felt lighter, freer, and more open to the joy of living in the moment. The past is a powerful teacher, but only if we choose to learn from it rather than dwell on it. Like Sarah, you can turn your regrets into wisdom and your pain into growth. Take the time to reflect on what your experiences have taught you. Forgive where necessary, not for the sake of others, but to free yourself from the chains of resentment. Each day, remind yourself that the present moment holds infinite possibilities. By letting go of the past, you make room for a brighter, more intentional future. So, put down the heavy backpack and step forward into the life waiting for you. You are not defined by your past, but by what you do with the lessons it has given you. 4. Distinguish between controllable and uncontrollable. A lesson in focus and serenity. It was a crisp autumn morning when Emma found herself stuck in traffic on her way to an important job interview. Her hands gripped the steering wheel as frustration bubbled up inside her. Why does this always happen to me? She thought, glancing at the clock as it ticked closer to her appointment time. The line of cars ahead was endless, and the honking horns around her only added to her rising anxiety. As she sat there, helpless to change the situation, Emma remembered a concept she had recently read about: the Stoic principle of distinguishing between what is within our control and what is not. Inspired by this idea, she took a deep breath and asked herself, what can I actually do in this moment? She realized that she couldn't control the traffic, but she could control how she responded to it. Instead of stewing in frustration, Emma chose to use the time to center herself. She practiced a simple breathing exercise, visualized herself calmly walking into the interview, and mentally rehearsed her answers to potential questions. By the time she arrived, slightly late but composed, Emma felt more in control of herself and confident in her ability to handle the situation. This moment was a turning point for Emma. She began applying the Stoic practice of focusing on what she could control in other areas of her. When a colleague acted rudely, instead of reacting defensively, she reminded herself that she couldn't change others' behavior, but could choose how to respond. When a project didn't go as planned, she focused her energy on finding solutions rather than dwelling on what went wrong. The wisdom of distinguishing between the controllable and uncontrollable is timeless. As the Stoics teach, much of our suffering comes not from external events, but from our resistance. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside of it. Realize this, and you will find strength." This insight encourages us to stop wasting energy on things beyond our influence and instead direct it toward our thoughts, actions, and perspective. Imagine your life as a garden. You cannot control the weather, whether it rains or shines, but you can decide how to care for the soil, plant the seeds, and tend to the ground. By focusing on your actions, you create an environment where you can thrive, regardless of external circumstance. The ability to distinguish between what is within your control and what is not is a practice that cultivates serenity and resilience. It helps you navigate life's uncertainties with grace, reduces unnecessary stress, and empowers you to take ownership of your choices. So the next time life feels overwhelming, pause and ask yourself, what part of this is within my control? Focus on that and let go of the rest. Like Emma, you'll discover that true power lies not in controlling the world around you, but in mastering how you respond to it. 5. Forge courage by facing discomfort. A story of growth through challenge. Imagine a young woman named Emma who had always avoided discomfort at all costs. She chose the safe route in her career, stayed in her comfort zone with her routines, and avoided situations that made her feel vulnerable or uncertain. Life felt predictable, but deep down, she knew something was missing, a sense of growth and fulfillment. One day, Emma came across a quote by Seneca, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the." Words struck a chord, and she began to reflect on the choices she had made to avoid discomfort. What if, instead of running from it, she leaned into it? Could discomfort be the key to unlocking her potential? Determined to change, Emma started small. She signed up for a public speaking class, a long-standing fear she had avoided for years. The first day was daunting. Her palms were sweaty, and her voice trembled as she introduced herself. But as she faced that discomfort, something began to shift. Each session made her feel more confident, not because the fear disappeared, but because she proved to herself that she could handle it. Emma's journey mirrors the path of an athlete building endurance. Just as a runner strengthens their muscles by pushing through the burn, we strengthen our character and resilience by facing challenges head-on. Discomfort, though unpleasant, is a powerful teacher. It forces us to adapt, to grow, and to confront the parts of ourselves that we often shy away from. One day, Emma was asked to present at a major company meeting, situation that would have paralyzed her with fear before. But this time, she embraced the challenge, remembering the lessons from her public speaking class. As she stood before her colleagues, she felt a sense of empowerment. She realized that the courage she had forged through discomfort had prepared her for the discomfort is not something to be feared, but embraced. Each moment of unease is an opportunity to test your limits and grow stronger. Like Emma, identify a fear or challenge you've been avoiding and take the first step toward confronting. Whether it's having a difficult conversation, trying a new skill, or stepping into an unfamiliar environment, each act of courage will build your resilience. Remember, discomfort is the forge in which courage is shaped. It's not about eliminating fear, but learning to act despite. Lean into discomfort, and you'll discover a version of yourself that is stronger, more confident, and ready to face life's challenges head. Embrace the burn, because that's where true growth happens. You are the carpenter of your own life, shaping it with every choice, effort, and care you dedicate to. Whether it's building a solid foundation with purpose, cultivating the inner strength to face challenges, letting go of the past, or recognizing what's within your control. Every step you take transforms your journey. Remember, The extraordinary life you seek begins with the small daily decision. Embrace discomfort as an opportunity for growth. Live with intention and build something you'll be proud to call your. Now, the final question is, how will you start building your house tomorrow? If this content inspired you, like, share, and leave a comment to let us know how you'll apply these lessons to your. And of course, subscribe to the channel for more reflections and practices that help shape a life with purpose. Thank you for watching, and until the next video, let's build something extraordinary together.